Yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence. I think that was kind of like a really big boost that I needed to actually push myself out of just being the role of a second shooter. Because obviously there's not that pressure on you when you're just seconding. I mean, obviously there's pressure. You still have to do a good job, but I'm not the one delivering to the clients and I don't have that rapport with them.
The goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will.
You're listening to Perspective, a podcast for wedding creatives where we sit down often with a special guest and talk about our many years of experience in the wedding industry. We have our favourite Canadian, Hayley Palmquist Dundas, on today's episode. Hayley is a Canadian photographer living in Scotland, and she has taken the time to travel down from Aberdeen today to conversate with us about second shooting and taking steps towards being a lead shooter. We talk about her experience in the wedding industry, second shooting, and when it's the right time to work under your own name. We discuss the benefits of shooting alongside someone at a wedding, as well as the influences they can have on your own work. This episode is going to be perfect for you if you're a second shooter thinking about shooting for yourself, as we cover many of the issues you'll face in making this career change and give you advice on how to make the changes as smooth as possible. But before we get into that, what are we drinking?
Today we're drinking another of Southside Roasters. It's the Marchdown Blend.
Yeah, but have we already drank this on a podcast?
No, this is the Marchdown Blend.
We were supposed to. What's going on?
That's alright.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a little bit of a change. We have a special guest in today, all the way from Canada. Hayley Palmquist Dundas.
Hello, I flew directly in. Could not miss this, yeah.
Hales is actually from my hometown of Canada.
Oh no.
Very specific.
I'm sorry. Everyone thinks I sound Canadian. I don't think I do, but they always think I'm Canadian. Anyway, she was so demanding that she had... Now, what's that thing when artists ask you for certain things?
A writer.
Perform? A writer.
Yeah.
A writer. And specifically it was for Tim Hortons Donuts. Now, I love Tim Hortons, but I had never been to the best donut shop in Glasgow. Tantrum Donuts.
Sacrilege.
I know.
Call yourself a Glaswegian.
So, I went there this morning and picked up some lovely Tantrum Donuts. Shall we crack in?
Well, they're looking good, so
They're all
They are
pre-cut
looking-
for
had a
us.
long drive,
That's right. So,
long journey, so
what we have in front of us is 5 donuts. A creme brulee flavour, a milk and cookies flavour, a almond classic, I believe, and there's 2 other ones I haven't worked out what they are yet. And I will look to the website and they're not there.
it'll be a
Susie.
mystery.
Susie, do you know what these donuts are?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Well, not all of them.
I'm
We've
gonna...
got the creme brulee. We've got the
Yep.
lemon cheesecake.
Oh, that's a lemon cheesecake. Okay, okay, cool. And what's this one? The mystery one that no one... So no one knows what the... Right, I'm just gonna go... No, you cannot sniff it. Get away.
That's just for you, though.
Quality
I'm just gonna
control.
go
Susie
straight in.
had some of these donuts
Peanut
at the
butter
weekend,
with
so she knows.
Salted peanut butter.
If not peanut butter.
It's nice of you to give the guest one first, though, Simon. As you tuck in there.
Look,
It's quality
I'm a firm,
control, you know,
I'm
make sure
a
none's
firm believer
poisoned
on
and-
just like help yourself, because I don't know what I don't know if you even want a donut. I mean, that doesn't really make sense. Of course you would.
I mean, the other
And
people
you've demanded them.
people listening can't see your face, but she definitely wants a donut.
I've been eyeing them up. I mean, I think since I
Dive
walked
in,
in. So
dive in.
right.
Okay, so I don't really know what that is. Susie coming over.
What's that class?
Oh,
Is this just like an
she's
old
already here.
fashioned?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Well, that was delicious.
Yes.
I'm gonna
I
get
don't
crumbs
quite know.
everywhere. By the way,
That's fine. I'm gonna have this the old one. No, the almond one rather,
the old one.
because I don't really know what is this. What is this?
This
Oh.
is turning into an episode of one of my favourite podcasts, Spilled Milk.
Where we have food and you can't get any.
And you can hear us chewing. Oh, it's lovely.
Are there actual podcasts of people just eating,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're so good.
and you
Uh,
can hear them like
On
actually
your drive
like
back up the road,
Yeah.
once you've listened to
once
our
I've
show,
listened to your show?
you should listen to Spilled Milk. Brilliant.
I will. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here?
Oh.
Are they nice?
Mm-hmm.
Are the Tim Hortons nice?
Listen, I have to rep my home country, right? And Tim Hortons is like an integral part of being Canadian.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way. The store is great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I actually love coming to Glasgow because we don't have a Tim Hortons up in Aberdeen.
Oh my God.
So I know some days are really hard, but I get through them.
People say that's the wealthiest city in Scotland. Obviously not, because they don't have Timbits. They will. Oh, they will.
Have you been
open one.
keeping track for me, or?
I think there's meant to be 250 stores opening worldwide. No,
Don't say that. Haley's right here. She'll have a heart attack.
Susie, the donut master, off mic.
I believe it was only last week we were talking about Susie's health kick and how it was a trend. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The trend has swung. She's on the donuts.
It's not the same Susie.
It's Susie's twin.
Thank you, Ron Bailey.
So I feel like this is just so dangerous. I've got 5 flavors here, and I want to taste them all for everyone at home. So I just want to stuff my face full of donuts. Is that nice?
I think it'd probably be good, let people know.
You're right. Okay, well, I'm going to
Exactly
delve
what
into one of these cream-filled.
You should probably leave some for Tom, though. He'll be in soon.
Oh, I suppose. He's
No doubt he'll come in and
What?
interrupt us while we record.
This is just so sticky. Oh, it's cream-filled.
It's not a bad way to start your week,
Yeah.
chats with donuts and coffee. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Oh, I
So
bet.
we're starting this week good, but how was your weekend?
I probably shouldn't eat while you guys are going to ask me questions because
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm just every now and then just leaning away from the microphone.
I've been leaning into the microphone so
Oh my God.
so everyone can really get a good sense of what this is like. Okay, let me swallow and
You gotta really hear that smell. These sound so great. These donuts.
okay. Ask me that again.
How was your weekend? What have you been up to?
I had a good weekend actually. I was back at Glen Tanner, which all 3 of us were at
Oh.
a month ago, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were, yeah.
Got good weather. It was a great wedding. Really good.
Any more breast pumping?
There was breast pumping, not by me, but yeah, just for the listeners. I'm not pumping my breasts, so
No.
no.
That might seem like a random reference. I should probably just say that last time we were there shooting with Emma Lawson, Hayley, Greg, and myself, Emma's just had a child. She is breastfeeding. If you don't have any children, or if you do have children, you'll understand that women need to breast pump them.
Simon was
You know
curious.
I'm not going to get into the details.
And is a peeping Tom.
I peeked into the car. I couldn't really see because of the reflections of the trees, so I had a right good look in the car. Eye full of boob. I'm so sorry, Emma. Okay.
It's lucky we're all good friends. Anyway,
We just laughed.
how
and
was
laughed and
Glen Tanner this time?
Glen Tanner was great. I think Aboyne has a very special little climate, like a microclimate. So it was great weather. So
Oh, really?
happy everything went to plan. Glen Tanner's a great place. So good couple. Yeah. And then yesterday I enjoyed doing nothing, sleeping in. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have a wedding hangover?
I did have a wedding hangover. And I did legs day at the gym prior to the wedding. So so I was feeling it. I was sore. And
Is that the day before or the day off?
actually it was 2 days before.
Wow.
I just went that hard at the gym that
Damn, girl.
So yeah, I was just kind of feeling a little tired. But it was good. Enjoyed my day off.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah. Well,
What about us, Simon? What were we up to?
Yeah. Well, we had a great time at the parsonage.
Pretty straightforward wedding. Everything in one place. They hadn't normally we like to do preps, but they didn't ask us to do preps, or they didn't want them. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward. It was raining all day though, which was a challenge
Literally
in a
all
venue
day.
where there's not much indoor use.
And
So,
yeah, when we were speaking to Ashley Baxter about troubles that you can have at a wedding, obviously the weather, but this bride obviously didn't want to get her dress wet either. So I mean, we're in a venue surrounded by grass and trees and foliage and stuff.
Yeah.
So
if we
it
could
was
have
raining,
got
it
on the
was just-
grass, we
yeah.
could have got under some shelter from the trees,
right.
but she wasn't up for going on the grass.
Yeah.
Kind of forces you to be more creative indoors,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, but again, it also limits our content. So, Yeah.
This is true. Yeah.
So,
I did have some fun with the reflections in one of the rooms though that we used. It was good.
That's actually, yeah, because we switched off all the lights. We got them by this huge big window, and it's a fairly modern design aesthetic inside the room. So there's loads of reflections, and I don't know. I took great joy of getting what I remember to be an amazing shot from a reflection of another photographer's example book. And yeah, I just took great joy in that.
You guys
some
are all
reason.
about the reflections, aren't you?
I love it.
We
You
do
love
love
a good
some
reflection.
Shadows,
Yeah,
silhouettes,
yeah.
reflections. Man, I love it.
Really floats your boat.
We were discussing my inner emo last time
Ooh.
with Glenn Tanner. Remember how I've got an inner emo kid?
Actually, I don't remember
You
this
don't
conversation. Was I?
How I'm secretly depressed and how this year
Aw.
our work's just gone like super dark.
Did you?
Oh, okay. No, I
I'm
do
pretty sure
remember.
you talked about that with a couple as well on a Skype chat recently.
Oh, I might have done, but they were loving it.
Yeah, it worked out well, but
As long as it worked in your favor, that's
Oh yeah. I don't really have an emo kid. If anything, it's a punk rocker kid. All right.
I can see
I'm
that.
Just being
I feel like the hair is pretty. You know, it's.
he gelled that especially for you.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, I put a little product in my hair. Not that you can tell. It's.
And for those,
I made an effort today, just so you guys know.
Yeah. Well, we're dressing the same.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
it's just Greg that
Sorry.
if you were wearing a grey t-shirt, then
Damn
I didn't get the
we
memo.
could have all
You're
been
always
matching.
letting
But
side down. I can't believe it.
well, we can coordinate next weekend. Greg and
Yes.
I and what
'Cause
Tom
we'll be working
we'll be
together.
working together,
Yeah.
and so
I'm looking forward
we'll
to
plan
it.
it out.
This is usually I would be very sad about this, but one of my best friends is getting married, and I am not going to be working.
I was wondering why you weren't gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean, this job's pretty intense, and I don't like to miss friends' weddings. You know,
No.
I've already missed enough social events from this job.
Yeah, and
so
It's an antisocial job
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
yeah, it is.
We're lucky enough that there's two of us. We have Tom who works for
Tom's great.
associate team, so we have the opportunity that Simon can have a day off while we're still working a wedding.
Yeah.
So might as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, who is Hayley Palmquist Dundas?
Yeah.
Is that right? Does
Yeah,
Hales.
that is
Hales.
right. That is correct. Yes.
Can I call you Hales?
You can call me Hales.
Cool.
I get called Hales. Hale Bale.
Hale Bale.
Yep. That's Hayley P. Yeah.
Cool.
Who am I? That's such a loaded question. I feel like you need to be more specific.
Where'd you come from? What's your date of birth? Your social security number? Give me all.
I'll give that all to you guys. I trust you. So I am Hayley Palmquist Dundas of Hayley Palmquist Photography. I'm originally from Canada, small town Canada, but
In
now
the sticks.
in the sticks, yeah, the boonies. But now now I reside in Aberdeen, Scotland. But yeah, I grew up I was a country kid. We had an old farmhouse.
Nice.
There was fields behind with a forest. So we'd have, you'd wake up and you have deer and coyotes and possums in your backyard. It was pretty.
Did you have moose?
No.
No.
Moose, no.
Mounties?
Just in my backyard, yeah. You'd wake up and damn mounties, get out of here. Yeah. No, fortunately, they weren't populating that area at the time, so no. But yeah, a lot of wildlife. So I grew up kind of a country bumpkin kind of kid.
So what
Yeah.
brought you over to Scotland or Aberdeen in particular?
Was it the history? Was it the mystique?
Was it a man?
Ooh.
Oh my god!
Well, originally it was none of those things. I originally went to England back in 2011 on a working visa. I was a live-in nanny, an au pair, in a small town in Cambridgeshire. Pretty sure Simon and I have already had drunken discussions about my time as an au pair.
Yes, stories of
A lot of poop.
a lot of poop.
A lot of that.
I am a father of 3, so I understand these stories and relate very well to your experiences.
Yes, yeah.
I-
I feel like I've already raised kids that weren't even mine. So
Greg also feels like he's raising a child too.
yeah, I can.
His
I
name's
feel
Simon.
for you.
And Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Is Susie one of your children too?
Nah, she's
Stepmom.
self-sustaining.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so originally I was in England. for about a year and a half of my 2-year working visa. Met a guy who is my now husband. We met in Dublin on St. Patrick's Day.
Ooh.
Probably cliche, I don't know. Maybe luck of the Irish. And came back to the UK, and then actually I went to Canada for a bit. And he convinced me to come back to Scotland to work off the rest of my visa, and the rest, as they say, is history. I've been in Scotland kind of ever since. So
Yeah, well, let's get into your work, your photography.
yes.
Where did you start?
I thought there was going to be more to that. You looked like you had something to say.
I can't.
It's fine. Just like a long pause to kind of build up the anticipation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've always really enjoyed photography. I would say I technically started back in 2009. That's when I first went solo traveling. As a 19-year-old, I went to Italy by myself for the first time ever. And that was probably out of character. I was really like shy, quiet kind of person. And everyone was like, you're doing what now by yourself? That's crazy. But I really enjoyed it. And I got really into photography. And it was just like the general snaps of, I don't know, traveling and, oh, that's pretty. I'll take a photo. It was nothing, crazy artistic. But I really kind of got my fingers into it. I really loved it. Had the obligatory like friends and family being like, you are amazing. You should do this as a living. And I was like, yeah, totally. I really should. And it just kind of like progressed from there. After my working visa for the UK ran out, I kind of had to get something else. I had to get another visa to stay in the country. And I had to get a student visa. And I was humming and hawing, what do I study? And my husband was like, study photography. And I don't know why. I was so against it because I was like, no, all the cool kids train themselves. That's how you're like supposed to learn. And I'll be so lame if I study it. But I studied it, and through that really propelled me to get to where I am now. As you guys mentioned, we've all worked together with Emma Lawson Photography, and she's been a great supporter and kind of integral part of me getting to where I am at this point. While I was studying in college, she emailed the college asking if somebody wanted to do her blogging for her. And I was kind of like, I've never blogged before, but again, this goes back to my like shy roots. I was like, I can't do it, so I'm just not going to. But something in me was like, just try it. Just message her, just say, hey, I'd be interested. And I beat out some other competition. I got the job. I started blogging for her. And that progressed to a second shooting.
Cool.
Unpaid. Free. I would just come with her on weekends, and that then progressed to paid second shooting, and then progressed to primary shooting, and just kind of everything kind of came from that moment, I guess. Yeah. So actually,
so had you finished your studies at that point, or?
So I was still studying when I first started second shooting unpaid. And it kind of was after I graduated that I could get more stuck into really photographing a bit more like intensely, and give up a lot more of my time. But in the meantime, I was photographing other things. It wasn't just weddings. I did, some couple stuff, and I was really into horses. So I kind of did some shoots with, some equestrian shoots, so people and their horses and stuff like that. So I was photographing, but not really weddings at that point. So yeah, kind of jack of all trades at that point. So I guess kind of shacking up with Emma a bit, doing her blogging, I kind of saw all these weddings that she was doing, and I was obviously blogging all this content, and it just looked like the most amount of fun, and everything was just like, it was really cool. So I kind of thought, okay, well, I want to give that a try. Kind of put the other stuff on hold a bit and see what weddings are like. And yeah, I'm somebody that wants to go hard. It's kind of like all or nothing. So I was happy to kind of, give up my weekends at that point. My husband works 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So it's like very antisocial, but I knew I really wanted this kind of a lifestyle and career. So yeah, I just kind of went with it. Yeah.
And how does Martin feel about that?
He's really happy. He's my number one supporter. He's like my little cheerleader. Yeah, he's incredibly happy and proud of me to do what I do. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you get to see him much?
I do.
Yeah.
Evenings and, like Sundays,
Yeah.
depending where the wedding is. If I have to be away from Friday to Sunday, then not that much. But we make time to see each other and block out like the important dates, like anniversaries and birthdays and stuff like that. So,
Good.
yeah.
It's good to have someone that's supportive and
Yes.
A chauffeur.
got your back. the whole way.
And a chauffeur, yeah. He's good at that.
How long were you second shooting for before you wanted to start your own stuff?
Like shoot my own weddings or my own business?
I'm assuming that you...
In what order did they come?
Right. Okay. So actually I kind of started my business just out of college. So that was like 2016. Not in the sense that I knew everything about business. It was just like starting up a Facebook page and saying that I am in business. I'm just kind of learning on the go. I was content taking on, sessions that were like newborns and couples and things that weren't one day only,
more of sort of controlled shoots.
Yes, something controlled, something that, if everything went to pot, that, you could technically reschedule. Nothing ever did. Everything, knock on wood, has been absolutely fantastic. I've had a lot of happy clients, which is great. But I'd say it wasn't maybe a full year of unpaid second shooting, but it was more or less like that. And doing admin as well for Emma's business that, I was seeing everything behind the scenes. And then, and so progressing through that, when she was saying, okay, I think you're ready to be paid for this, you're doing a good job. That's when, the confidence to take on a more permanent role as a second shooter, if that makes sense, kind of started. So I'd say maybe it was like 10 months of doing that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when did Emma stop taking advantage of you?
She hasn't stopped.
I'm kidding.
So when was your first full shooter wedding as Hayley Palmquist photography?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like that'd be telling. And if any of my couples, they'd be like, wait, what? It's kind of funny because, under my own name, it was actually just this past August an elopement over here. But I guess throughout the year, I guess Emma was pregnant, so it would give me kind of more primary shooting roles to take charge of situations if she was feeling a bit tired or something. And, and then I primary shot for her. But yeah, I guess under my own name, I guess the first one technically was just this past August.
Cool.
Very cool.
And we actually shot one of the ones where you were lead shooter for Emma.
Yes.
That was good fun.
How'd you think I did? Don't answer.
Well.
Hang on, remind me of that wedding?
Kalowry. Susie was second shooting for me. I know.
I think you channeled a good Emma.
You did. Yeah. We actually...
I hope that's it.
Oh, no. It sounds like a good thing. No, Greg and I were talking about this, and obviously there are very similar, because we always get to watch photographers do their thing.
Yeah.
And when they're with a couple, and you approach things in a very similar way to Emma, so it's clear that you've learned quite a bit.
I have, yeah. I think that's the thing. We've worked together so closely for so many years now. It's been a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And I guess because I've been quite loyal to Emma, as in I haven't really second shot for many other people. Mm-hmm. So it just, I guess, progressed that I would take on more of her type of a demeanor at a wedding.
Yeah.
And the way she would go about running a wedding, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What did you see in yourself that made you think, you know what, now I'm ready to take the plunge, do it by myself. Mm-hmm. I'm the lead shooter under my own name. Mm-hmm. Presumably you have your own style. What was the points to get to that?
I think it was a mix of things. I think able to look back at my own work and go, okay, yeah, I did do a good job. I'm happy with this. I think there's never really a point where I'm 100% happy, because I think hindsight, I wish I did that. But looking back at my own work and feeling happy about that, having other people happy with my work, even if it was couples coming in with good words from my second shooting, things that I shot, just a lot of complimentary words kind of made me feel like, okay, I think I'm ready for this now. and the confidence to know how I would approach a wedding. Would it be, just myself on my own? So yeah, I think just kind of, I don't know. It's like a feeling. It's like love when you know. No.
You corny bastard.
I know. I'm sorry.
So I had a look at your website. Is that a picture of Canada on the first picture right there?
It is. That is Canada.
Is that moose?
Moose. Oh,
is that moose on the bottom? You got the big mountain with.
Oh no, those are elk.
Oh. Oh my god, not this again. Holy shit.
You're very bad at animals, I think. We were all at Secret Herb Garden. How many weeks ago? Doesn't matter, but Simon thought that it was deer and they were llamas.
What's sake?
You what?
He thought they were deer. Very different animals.
This is the first time hearing about this.
This is the first.
In the distant field.
Oh, Simon, sweetie.
Like...
No, they didn't.
Okay.
So I've literally just made the same mistake. I'm so desperate to see moose.
I've never seen a moose in person.
I've
never come
seen
across
a moose.
So
are they not everywhere in Canada?
They're like the more rural you go, yes, and but I've never been lucky enough. I
want to see maple trees and maple syrup in the wild, Mounties, because I used to watch Due South as a child, and moose.
Oh, you and Martin can bond over Due South. He loved that show. Oh. He's made me watch it, and I'm like, that's great.
I can't remember much about it, but
yeah.
I watched a lot of it as a child.
Well, you know what? Next time I'm over in Canada, actually this November, you guys can come visit.
Cool.
We'll take you on a little tour.
Deal.
Hey, look, my I don't know what number anniversary is November, so I'll bring my wife.
Well, there you go.
And you can
a romantic tour. You can tap some maple trees.
I'm the third wheel.
Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And actually, I think Lindsay's got a friend over there who lives in Toronto.
Ooh.
Yeah, she works for the seaplane. We can set Greg
up with a nice Canadian girl. Yeah. Got some friends.
Yeah. A lovely a Mountie waiting for you. Wait, you get women Mounties, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then don't laugh. God's sake. Anyway, so getting back to you making that step to lead Shure.
Yeah.
Did you ever fear you'd ruin your relationship with Emma?
Oh my god, 100%.
Yeah.
I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
Like primary shooting for her, is that what you're talking about? Or leaving her? Just because that's something different.
Just like taking on your own weddings under your own name.
Oh,
like,
then no.
No.
Okay. I retract what I said because that pertains to something different.
Because essentially, I mean, if you had similar styles, you're in the same area, you are effectively, from Emma's point of view, creating your own competition.
From one perspective,
you're younger, you're hipper, you're down with the kids.
Oh my god, don't say that. No.
I mean that in all the realistic ways that other photographers talk about, like they don't want to be doing weddings when they're this age and
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, I think just as, if there's other videographers in your same style and category, Emma's Emma and I'm me. I cannot be Emma.
Yeah.
And she has years of experience on me. She is a master of what she does. And, I am still learning and I'm still, finding my own feet. So I don't necessarily see us as direct competition. I really don't.
Yeah.
I've even talked with Emma about that because we've obviously got Lovelock, our associate team, and we took on an employee a few years ago. And there was always that worry that we're going to train him up and he's going to leave us at some point.
Yeah.
And turns out he went traveling, so he didn't really leave us to start his own thing. But you have to just have the confidence in your own work and know that you're training someone up to raise the quality in this community.
Absolutely. And I think that's the whole thing, is that at the end of the day, it's about community, isn't it? All of us together, we're a part of a really great community, aren't we? Yep. With very supportive people. And I think if it were to happen that, say she trains up someone else and, they weren't community based, and tried to kind of undercut or something, that I think would be something completely different. But I couldn't ever dream of doing something like that.
Yeah. You're too nice.
I'm Canadian. I mean,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But no, I don't see us as direct competition at all. Yeah.
If you've been listening to the show, you'll be familiar with Ashley Baxter, who we had on to talk about her experiences in the wedding industry, why she left, but also about with Jack, her insurance company. Ashley built her service from the ground up, tailoring it specifically for creatives. Whether you provide a service like design, development, and photography, or offer advice to clients, with Jack is definitely for you. It's focused on creatives. Insurance shouldn't be complicated, so with Jack has made every step easy. You'll do with one form and one Jack, so you can sign up, get covered, and move on with your day. With Jack is all about bespoke insurance for creatives. Simple. That doesn't mean more forms or faff, it means less. It's not about endless features or stale service. It's about one solid policy and the personal touch. Bye-bye unnecessary fuss, and hello creative-friendly insurance. Be a confident creative.
If someone was thinking of getting into photography and second shooting was maybe an opportunity for them, what advice do you have for starting off in the industry, and is second shooting a good line of introduction to it?
I'd say absolutely. I think it takes a brave person to take on a wedding having not even shot one before. I know I personally couldn't have done it because it's such a busy day and it goes by so quickly. And I think learning how to handle certain situations like bad lighting, rain, guests who might not be the most compliant. I think all that is something that you have to gain experience in because a lot can go wrong. And yeah, I definitely say second shooting is probably one of the best ways to get into the industry. Not only to gain experience, but to meet other people. That's how obviously I met you guys, you know. And it also helps build, I think, rapport. You get referrals from other people, even if it's videographers and other photographers. And I think it's definitely the way to go if you wanted to get into wedding photography. Yeah, definitely.
So it's not specifically for learning the craft of photography, because I guess most photographers, if they feel ready to get into the wedding industry, they're probably confident in their ability, but it's more for the sort of the flow of a day. Yeah. Because weddings are...
They can be so manic, Cool. And I still like to second shoot for other people because you always pick up different tips and tricks and ways to handle other situations that you might not have thought of previously. But also I think mainly just to get to know other people. I think it's good. Yeah.
When I asked you before about were you scared about ruining your relationship with Emma when you went on your own, you had a big reaction because you thought I'd said something else.
Yes.
What did you think I had said?
So Emma recently just had a baby. And so when she found out that she was pregnant, she asked if I would be happy to take over some of the weddings for her under her brand and primary shoot those weddings. And so I had thought that you had were pertaining to that.
So were you scared you were gonna fuck things up essentially?
Yes. Okay. Oh my god, I had nightmares because not only would I be shooting it for that couple and for myself, but under her own brand, which is so well established. She has so much experience and I think that was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do was try to be Emma. In essence, not, obviously I can never be her or anyone else, but to give the clients what they originally signed up for, I think that was probably the hardest thing to do is to then give them pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Yeah. It was a lot of pressure. So far, every couple has come back with stellar reviews, I might add. So give myself a pat on the back for that one. Yeah.
Congratulations. You did well.
Thank you. Yeah. But
does that success affect, is it going to affect your work now? Is it like you now know, right, I can do that? You're going to raise your prices? Are you going to, has it made you think, you know what, I can do this other style or I can do this other thing that I wanted to do?
Yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence. I think that was kind of like a really big boost that I needed to actually push myself out of just being the role of a second shooter. Because obviously there's not that pressure on you when you're just seconding. I mean, obviously there's pressure. You still have to do a good job, but I'm not the one delivering to the clients and I don't have that rapport with them. So I think yeah, I needed kind of that push to get out of mentality of second shooting, take things on as my own, really kind of commandeer, like, hey, let's get you into your dress or else you will be late for your own wedding. And, really being more authoritative.
Yeah.
So that was, I think it helped me just business-wise overall to be more confident in what I'm putting out there and attracting clients and things. So yeah, it's been good. It's been really good.
You hit on it a bit there, but in terms of on the day, what do you think the difference is between being a lead shooter and a second shooter? How does it change mindsets? And
I think keeping timings in the back of your mind at all times, because obviously if the client wants like 25 groups and they've only allotted an hour between the end of ceremony and the beginning of getting called to dinner, and you still have to do portraits and reception and candids, being able to be like, hey, that might not work out the way you think it will, and maybe can we jiggle things around, and just I think having to really think about timings is, I think, such a big thing. I think if I were second shooting for anyone other than Emma, I wouldn't want to step on their toes and take charge of, hey, we need to do this right now. I mean, I might remind them like, hey, we're running a bit over, like maybe we should wrap this up, or do you want me to go do this while you do this? And, but I mean, that's really, it's not my job as per se when you're seconding. So yeah. Let's
talk about advice.
Okay.
Advice for people wanting to go their own way. When do you think someone should go their own way?
Obviously, I think there's going to be a bubble of comfort, and you'll always have to kind of step outside that when taking on, the next big steps. So I'd say if you're confident, if you're able to deliver consistent results, no matter what the scenario is. So say, it's so easy to shoot a wedding if the lighting's been perfect all day and you have the perfect window light and, everything is perfect. I mean, that's, how can you mess that up? I think if you're able to deliver the same results as you would as on a perfect day on the worst day, I think that's when you should, be able to be like, yes, okay, I can do this. I can handle the situations. I don't think everything will always go swimmingly, even when you're well adjusted to taking charge, I think, and going out on your own. Not everything can go perfectly, but I think, confidence and being able to deliver good results, I think is a good sign that you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So they've realized, it's time. It's time to move from the second shooter role to lead.
Yep.
How should they go about that step?
I think starting a Facebook business page, maybe an Instagram account, social media accounts. A website is definitely a must, even if it's just something cheap. Currently, that's what I have done, and now I'm in the process. I'm getting my whole website revamped. Getting it
exciting.
Brand new from scratch. I have a designer doing it all. So what you've seen is my old.
You're going to get rid of the Canadian Mountain.
Getting rid of
Moose.
Anything Canada. Just
no.
I'm wiping my past now.
That makes sense because you're not in Canada. I did think that's an amazing picture. That's cheating.
It's not cheating. I go back to Canada. But it's having things in place so that if clients are trying to find you, that they can and see a good portion of your work. Having a good portfolio, blogging. Yeah, I think that's kind of a necessity in this day and age, isn't it? Everything's social media based. I get a lot of inquiries through Instagram, which is always a pain to post to, but it's so worth it. And I think 2018, you have to kind of be present.
Yeah, I would say, actually, I'm going to second that Instagram. And I would actually go one step further and say that Instagram should be your primary account. Yeah. For the main reason that we have shot, I think three weddings where the bride has said, we found you on Instagram, and it was your Instagram account that made us book you.
Yeah, 3 within the past few months.
Oh wow!
Yes,
so quite.
And they specifically said if you do not have an Instagram account, we would not have been. Yeah. We would not have booked you because who doesn't have an Instagram account?
Well, it's so true. Words. It is so true. Yeah.
Up until about a year, maybe even a year and a half ago, we weren't really using Instagram. 1.5 to 2 years, I've been trying to be more consistent. Yeah. Although I do go through phases where I'm like, I can't think of what to write.
Oh, that's the
I'm bored of
eternal
this.
struggle. Yeah.
And then I'm like 1 or 2 weeks of hardly posting, and then I'm like, right, back on it. Let's schedule some stuff. Let's get stuff out there.
I'm the exact same. Yeah.
And you're very good. I mean, thank you for taking that burden on, because I haven't done it. I don't do the communicating.
Right. Okay.
I don't
so
write
it's always
particularly
Greg
well.
that's writing
It
little
is.
nice.
Yeah.
I was chatting
comments.
to your husband recently.
Oh, he said that you didn't reply, and he was like all sad about it.
No. You didn't
reply
Something
to
about like
Martin?
the top button undone
Yeah,
or
I
something.
replied,
Oh,
and
did you?
I said something about it being maybe a UK or a Scottish trend, and he was like, but that doesn't affect me. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
Whoops.
did you just leave him on red after that? You were like, oh shit.
No, I'm pretty
got my
sure I
picture on
replied
there.
to that.
Oh, okay, but that's the thing though. Like, you know, people interact, I think, very, very well with Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because I post both to Facebook and Instagram. I don't think Facebook does a lot for my business personally. I don't know if it's the algorithms or
Yeah.
maybe it's the age base, because, you know, there's a lot about, I think it's like over 30s are Facebook based and under 30s are more Instagram based.
Yeah. That'd be, yeah. Well, you're the younger of us, Greg, so
I'm still
that's why you're
I'm
the
still in the
Insta
over
kid.
30s bracket though.
And the old...
I'm trying to cling on to my youth. Trying to.
hello.
Oh, look.
We have a visitor.
Sorry.
Damn it, Tom.
That's all right. I didn't pre-warn Tom that we were recording, so he's just walked in and interrupted us.
Do you
It's
want to come be on the podcast? Pull up a
No.
chair.
No, we've already had him. No one
He
likes
gets,
him.
he gets too many compliments about his voice being creamy, I think someone said.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never.
Smooth.
Yeah, talking about smooth and creamy, would you like a smooth and creamy donut?
We're going to have to find where we were. Rack our
Yeah,
brains.
no, it just you ruined the flow.
Yeah.
He's good at that.
We were talking Instagram though, I think, and before that.
Yeah. I was saying
Yeah.
how I'm clinging on to my youth.
Oh,
Trying to stay with the Instagram
how old
generation.
are you now? You're 31.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still
Commonly
young.
mistaken for 12.
You have a baby face, and hold on to
17.
that. 17. Do you still get carded?
Sometimes.
Do you?
Yep. Although
See.
we say ID'd over here.
Fun fact, we went into an old man's pub in
Ooh.
Glasgow one time, and Greg got ID'd for a Diet Coke.
How is that even possible?
This was about 7 years ago, but still.
Oh, I think that's fantastic.
It is. I think it's because
I love when folk ID me, and then I'm looking at them going, "You're probably about 21. You can't be ID." And then they look at it and go,
They're probably like, I'm sorry, sir.
I'm sorry, sir. Here's your walking stick. Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's nice though. I wish I still got ID'd.
"You
Yeah.
must get ID'd."
Sometimes.
must do.
It depends
You know,
where.
you've got the youthful look as well.
Do I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
How old are you? I know it's rude. I'm sorry. But you know what? Equality and all that. So,
Like throw this in your face.
what? How old are you?
I'm 28. Yeah.
A young child, Greg, compared to you and I, old fogies. Let's go back to second shooting, because
Right.
I very much, the title is like talking about going from second to first.
Yes.
As if it's this big step that everyone
This
takes, and then you
grandeur,
never go
yeah.
back.
I never
right.
look back. No.
But obviously, people second shoot all the time. You know?
Yep.
So, why do you still second shoot? Like, why have you looked back?
The moolah, baby. No.
The
Not at all.
moolah.
The moolah. I really just enjoy it. I honestly, like, this will probably sound the cheesiest. I love weddings. I love what I do. So I love my job. And I think that, I don't know, I feel like I would get rusty if I weren't, like, if I wasn't fully booked up, then, you know, there'd probably be weekends that I would go without having a wedding. And a weekend off is nice, but I honestly enjoy it. And I enjoy working with other people. As I said previously, you get to learn different tricks or tips, or, you know, see how other people work that might influence how you might change something, like how you approach like confetti or the couple shoots.
Yeah.
You know, you might integrate something else. So I just think it's always good to constantly be learning and pushing yourself. So I don't think it would be a bad idea to stop second shooting.
Instead of second shooting, would you not consider just advertising heavily and then booking your own weddings?
Yes, yeah. I think this year is really kicked off me going more into my own weddings. So I think for next year is, ramping up for advertising for next year's kind of weddings, since we're already August, and unless somebody's incredibly last minute. Oh no, we're September.
September now.
September.
Oh no.
Incredibly last minute. Which is just commonplace for us video people.
Is it? Do you get, you guys must get all the
It's crazy.
day before. You know what we want?
Day
We
before.
want videos.
Come on,
so.
it's not that crazy.
It's not. Well, we've had like what was the smallest time? 3 weeks? Was it even shorter than that?
Really?
Yeah, about
It
3
was-
weeks probably.
I mean that's just crazy.
That's a bit last minute. Yeah.
It's a bit
And
last minute.
most of the times it doesn't work out because they're like, oh, we've got a wee bit of budget left. We thought about a video,
Yeah.
and we're not in
Yeah.
the wee bit of budget range,
Yeah.
so it doesn't always work
Yeah.
out. But the odd time they just haven't thought of it, and it's like,
yeah.
oh, we can actually afford a video. Let's do it.
Oh, that must feel
Yeah.
awful being like an afterthought.
You've mentioned before that you spent a while doing some unpaid jobs. What's your sort of opinions on people doing unpaid work before starting to get paid for it, sort of thing?
And
Right.
I'm just going to say, this is kind of a hot button topic
Okay.
in the world of photographers and stuff. Some people
Yeah.
they get very emotive when it comes to payment and what seconds should be paid and if they should be paid, and
It's a hot button topic. I think when the issue of being paid comes into place, people get very like, give me money. Personally, I think if you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't get paid for it. If I took on the role of Emma and I then wanted to train somebody up, kind of like a protege, took them out of college and they had never shot a wedding before, I probably wouldn't want to give them, however much money, especially if the couple haven't booked a second shooter.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing. If the couple haven't booked a second shooter and you've been invited along to see how a wedding day goes, shoot kind of how you want and everything, then I don't necessarily think you should be compensated your time if that was your choice to go along with it. It was always my choice to be unpaid, to go along knowing that I'd be unpaid, because I, again, was just very passionate about wanting to get into wedding photography and wanting to do my job well.
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist almost to the point of not getting things done because, you want them to be so good, but that's never going to be a thing, right? You're never going to be perfect.
Done is better than perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Probably done not shittily, but
We're throwing lots of cliches out here today.
yeah. So yeah, I think personally, hopefully nobody takes offense to this. It's probably, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but no, I don't think if you don't have the expertise, you probably shouldn't get paid.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you felt that you were willing to do it because the value you got in sort of learning the flow of a wedding was more than working for someone else and getting a wee bit of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever hired a second shooter?
Not under myself, but when I was primary shooting for Emma, I had Susie.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously you didn't pick Susie.
But no, I didn't. I didn't have say over who I got. But it was fine because I liked everybody that I had, and they're all experienced, hardworking photographers, so there was no issue.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pay them, so.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for traveling all the way from Canada.
Oh, you're welcome.
I mean, Jesus, the flights alone. Because we're
know,
not paying
I
for you to
know.
come here.
I just,
You
enjoy.
just gave you donuts.
Yeah, that's the only payment I require.
Yeah.
Couples take note. Yeah. No, it was a pleasure to come down and hang out with you guys for, I don't know how long we've been talking for. Quite a while.
Too long.
Too long.
Oh, I've been enjoying it. I'm like, I can keep going.
You go on quite a bit.
No, it's been really fun. Thanks for inviting me to speak on your podcast. It's
No problem. For
very flattering.
people listening, where should they go to check you out online? Your Instagram, obviously. Give us your
Yes.
handles.
Definitely check me out on Instagram. I don't know. Do you have to say www? Is that lame?
I think just
That's you showing your age.
yeah. World Wide Web at Hayley Photography.
Yeah. Instagram is just Hayley Palmquist Photo.
How do you spell Palmquist? Just
I
for
know
everyone.
that's a tricky one, isn't it? Palm, Palmquist.
There you
It's
go.
Swedish, Yeah.
Ooh.
I know. Exotic. So yeah, Hayley Palmquist Photo for Instagram, HayleyPalmquistPhotography.com for my website, and on Facebook. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How does Martin feel about that? There's no Dundas there.
I know.
Dundas on
I'm an
golf.
independent woman. I always told him I was keeping my maiden name. I haven't legally changed it at all. It's just on Facebook. Keep him quiet. I'm like, it's changed. It's fine.
Oh, now he knows.
Now he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secret's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
Well,
Cool.
check out Hayley online. and
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Enjoy your drive back up the road.
Oh, thanks.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Bye. You've been listening to Perspective, a podcast for wedding creatives. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did, hit that subscribe button so that you know the next time an episode goes online. Leave a review. That's a massive help. And spread the word by telling a friend. But until next time, enjoy your life.